Peace. Peace to all the people who've been eclipsed in this country. All the brothers and sisters who've been forgotten through all the hard times that this country has been through. And peace to that generation that will rise up and establish a new and better order over this country. When the time is right, there shall be such a time. Most of the generations living today will not exist anymore. They'll just be memories. People come and people go. I just pray that that generation that will establish itself over this land that we currently call Zimbabwe, perhaps the borders may slightly change. We really don't know, but we know that that people will rise again, and there'll be a people, and there's going to be a mental break. There's going to be such a difference in those people's mentality and the mentality of the people that we call Zimbabweans today. The people we call Zimbabweans today are unfortunately an eclipsed and forgotten generation who have not had a real opportunity to actually fulfill their dreams and to showcase their potential to the world. It really is a case of lost potential, lost hopes and dreams. You know, every time you hear of mothers who lose their children at childbirth, or mothers and children dying during childbirth and so on, all of those are reflections of deeper things that are happening within this land, which is that lost potential and that lost power. It is all those lost dreams and hopes and aspirations, all those things that make us human, that are just washed away by these difficult times that our people have found themselves in. We can theorize and think about why this has been the case, but I believe that this has been the case because of our history. There are things within history that are coming back to us. It's almost like a karma thing. We don't want to think of karma because we are not Hindus, but this is a universal understanding. We don't necessarily call it karma. We may call it something else, but it's those things from our history and our past which have not been put in alignment with who we are today in the proper fashion, so that we are able to neutralize this so-called karma that has hit our people. So hence we've been going through what we're going through. We have a lost generation, people who will never get to know their dreams, who will never get to fulfill those aspirations. It is like an abortion. It's almost like a whole generation has been aborted. You can talk about abortion, or someone having an abortion, right, on an individual level, but this is an abortion of a whole generation. So it doesn't look the way that an individual physical abortion would look, but it is happening on a societal level where people come into this society, but they never jump off. They never fulfill their dreams. They never know who they are, their aspirations, all of these things that would have made them who they should have been. So we have to accept these difficult times and understand that even though the times have been difficult, and even though this thing is happening to our people, we still have life. We still have even a chance at having meaning in our lives, or finding meaning in those difficulties. Finding out who God is, because when we discover who the Lord is, that is more precious than anything that we could have ever hoped for anyway. When we find that, we find everything. Because at the end of the day, we know that we are not of this world. We are in the world, but we are not of it. So it really doesn't matter. It's not that important that this unfortunate incident, because really this whole generation, this whole time that we've been here, in the whole expanse of existence, it's really nothing. It's just a moment. It's just a wink of an eye. So it's not that we have lost everything. We've just lost out on a particular experience that we could have had here. Now, it sounds like a very bleak way of looking at things, but looking at what is currently happening within Zimbabwe, whether it's the politics, whether it's the way people relate to each other, their religious beliefs, everything, it's just off. The people can't seem to get it right. They can't seem to have it right. And it just gets worse and worse, and it reflects in the politics. It reflects in the religion. It reflects in the madness within the people. You even see it in the pandemics, whether it's drugs, the destruction of the healthcare systems. All of these things are the reflection of this deeper occurrence, this unfortunate thing that has happened to the people. To where now, if we can find a way to cope or help the people cope with that reality, perhaps that will be an opportunity, a chance, maybe to even salvage the situation. Only God knows. But the truth is, as the people, we don't know. The answers, they've become lost. I think at one point we had a chance to come back and fix things, rewrite history, do all these things. But that chance got lost. That chance is gone. I believe. I may be wrong. But from the looks of things, that chance may be gone. Some may argue and say, I'm wrong. But for those who would argue and say I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me where the hope is. Don't show me money. Don't show me things. Don't show me thousands of cars or millions of cars and all these things on our street. Don't show me that. Show me things that are real, that prove that indeed the hope is still alive in the people. Show me. Now, I know our leadership says that the nation will not die. That's what they said. Those were their words. The nation, Zimbabwe, will not die. And I say to myself, I've never heard that before. Why are we hearing it now? I believe the reason we're hearing it now is because it is something that has crossed the minds of those in positions of power. They have seen that indeed the nation may be dying. Hence they have felt the need to assure the people that no, Zimbabwe will not die. But for those who are pragmatic, those who want to use logic, when you see how events are unfolding and how our people fold their hands then you can tell that there's a conspiracy, that the people have conspired to self-destruct. It is a silent conspiracy within the people. They will not come up straight and say, look, we have conspired to destroy this thing, to fold our hands, to sit back and let it crumble. They will not come out and say it. They don't have the guts to say that. But from the looks of things and how events are unfolding and how things are happening, I think it's pretty obvious. Now, is there a way that the people can change their mind and decide to be serious and actually do something about what's going on in their country? I would hope that that's a possibility. But I think when people have been indoctrinated in a certain way, or they've been programmed in a certain way, even if there's something that they want to change and they want to change their whole destiny, I think chances are they are already in a sunken place, to where a part of them may want to reverse this, but they just can't. They're hopeless. That's a horrible place to be in. You know, it's like being asleep and then waking up and realizing that, wait a minute, I'm conscious, but I'm asleep. My body's sleeping, but I can't move. I want to move my body. It's like sleep paralysis. So it's almost like the state of the nation. The nation is in the state of sleep paralysis. The nation is paralyzed with fear, whether it's fear of themselves, fear of those in power, fear of reality, fear of the future. Who knows? But the nation is terrified. They can't move. They're paralyzed. So that state of sleep paralysis that a lot of people experience is being experienced on a nationwide scale by the masses. So it's a collective paralysis. And everything that they are experiencing it's a night terror. It's like a nightmare. And the people just can't wake up from it. It's been going on and on and on and on. Now some have woken up. Some see what's going on. But never envy those who have woken up, because waking up is one thing. Being able to actually do something about it, that's the hard part. Because you can wake up and see all of these things that are happening to the people, but have nothing, no means to do anything about it. Have no power. Yet at the same time, do we really not have the power? I think we have the power. I think those that have woken up have the power to do something about it. But I think what most lack is the guts, the goal to do something about it. It takes a certain kind of man, it takes a certain kind of woman to actually get up and do something about what's going on in this country. So not only do we have a mass of people who are asleep or who are experiencing this sleep paralysis, but we do have those that represent the consciousness of the people, but they are few in number. And in those few in number who are conscious of what's going on, who represent the consciousness, the action is the difficult thing. They are unable to bring themselves to the action that is necessary to wake up the masses of the people, to show them that actually, listen, man, the system is not what you thought it was. It's like in the Wizard of Oz, where you realize that what you were so afraid of is really nothing. It's really nothing. There was nothing to fear. You only had yourself to fear. There was nothing to fear. So there was nothing but fear. Just fear. But it's hard to get people to that, because that is true freedom. When people realize that there's nothing to fear, that everything that they feared wasn't what they thought it was. It was just fear. It was just the fear in them that stopped them from being the best that they could be within this particular existence. And they lost everything for nothing. All for nothing. All because they were afraid. It's so sad to see such potential go to waste. All because people didn't have the balls to stand and say, you know what? We've had it. We want change. We want a different reality. I'm not talking about going out there and doing crazy things, or that it has to do anything. This is about politics. No, not everything is about politics. Not everything is about politics. Sometimes it just comes down to you as a person. Just waking up. Just learning to do what's right. Learning to follow what is right, instead of stupid things and trends and things that don't matter. Things that distract you from who you truly are. Sometimes it's just stepping away from that. Sometimes it's not about getting politicians to do something. It's about getting yourself to stop doing certain things that you do that cause you to move backward instead of forward. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's not about changing other people. It's about changing you. So those are some of the lessons that our people are yet to learn. But if they don't learn it in time, I've already told you what is coming. And it's not about what you think or your religious beliefs. It's not about that you can think whatever you want. But the reality of the matter is, right now, there's a miscarriage of a society. There's a whole generation that is being miscarried, that is being aborted. Doesn't matter what your belief is. We're talking about what is real, what is going on right now. And you may say, oh, well, so how are we going to change it? What are we going to do? What are we going to... But you first have to see what is happening. You first have to actually see it for you to salvage the situation, for you to change the situation and actually do something about that situation. You have to see it first. You have to bring yourself to see it. And that's the thing that a lot of people have difficulty with, bringing themselves to see reality and to see what is happening to them or what is happening within their environment and what it means within the larger scheme of things, being able to understand reality. That's what we're trying to bring our people to see. Because it's easy to just talk over people, just tell people what to do this, do that, all of these things. But to bring them to understanding, that is difficult. See, these politicians, all they do is they play on people's emotions. They have played on the emotions of Zimbabweans for far too long. And hence we've gotten to where we are now. So instead of following the emotions, what people need to do is come into understanding what is going on. So the politicians cannot bring people into understanding, because they will lose their jobs. They will lose their relevance if they bring people to understanding, because then the people will see them for what they truly are, which is nothing but parasites within society. So they can't show you who they are. They can't bring people to understanding. And that's the difficult thing, to bring people to understanding. Because, now you have to get into the people's mind, show them the light, walk them through the dark, for them to see a greater existence, a far more beautiful experience for them and their family. You can show them this But that's the hard part, being able to show them those possibilities, being able to beam these different examples of what prosperity looks like so that now they can pick and choose what suits them. It's difficult to bring them to actually see what that may look like, to create those images. It takes a lot of power to be able to do that. And power is not something that we have. Time is not something that we have either. We're running out of time every time. Politicians are not your friend. Those are the parasites. The so-called spiritual gurus are also parasites. They just want your attention so that they gain whatever they gain from you. A lot of the time it's materialistic because they're getting paid for these things. So they'll say anything, they'll do anything. They'll promise you heaven and earth. They'll make you feel special if you believe in what we believe here as Africans. All this dumb shit. You're getting attracted by bullshit. A bunch of nonsense. We've got a reality right now that we're faced with that we have to deal with. The miscarrying and miscarriage and abortion of a generation, if not a whole society. That's the reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've gotten an idea of the conversation of how we should be building a conversation that addresses these issues, the issue of a whole generation being aborted and miscarried and going down the drain. A whole generation losing everything, life, aspirations, dreams. How can that be stopped?